Okay, I want to go across live to the Bharat Mandapam. My colleague Anjana Kashyap is talking at this moment to Minister of State Meenakshi Lekhi.
Yes, that is the foundational message of our civilization, to roots which we have taken to spread the message all across through 5,000 plus years.
So we're showcasing India in a big way in front of all of them. Now we come to the minute details of G20. 3 valid questions. Number 1, what will we get a joint communique? Will we be able to get everyone in light of the Russia-Ukraine war? Will we be able to get a joint communique at the end of it?
So let me just, so the procedure adopted is, there are 2 things. One is chair summary. In chair summary, you put everything. Whoever is speaking, whatever, goes as chair summary. And then call out what has been agreed upon by all sides, and that comes as an outcome document. So these 2 procedures is what we are following.
So an outcome document is what we will be expecting. Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, and Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, are not coming. How does that affect the G20 celebrations?
So it doesn't really affect because G20 is about cooperation on several fronts, which we have sought and tried to bring focus onto many subjects of interest. And India, being a country which is representing both global north and global south, east and west, has tried to bridge the gap on all sides, because the world is going through polycrisis. And at that time of polycrisis, sane voices of middle path matter, and that's what India is all about. So far as a country's representation is concerned, I must tell you that it is usually up to that country how they wish to represent themselves. Usually before the leaders meet, most of the negotiations have happened beforehand. Most of the things and documentation part happens before the final process, before the leaders descend, and it is that process which usually gets done. Thus, somebody's presence or absence does not really reflect on the summit as such. I mean, just to sort of cast the doubts aside, I'm giving an example. So we had SEO Summit in Central Asia. We've had NAM, Non-Aligned Movement, and I was representing the Honorable Prime Minister at that time. And that is because a country can choose who will be representing, because most of the positions of the country is taken inside the country, and then it's an outside representation which the representative of the head of the state can go and make that statement.
In light of Jill Biden turning COVID positive, are you anxiously waiting for Joe Biden's COVID report? Because what White House has informed the press is that they're testing him every day now.
No, I'm sure they would be testing, and rightfully so. But let's keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best.
In view of China not coming, experts around the world are saying that it's because of India's growing stature in the world that China or Xi Jinping has chosen to stay back and is sending Li Qiang. How do you look at that?
So I would say people are looking at China from a very short-term perspective. I mean, they are looking at maybe 70 years or 50 years or that time period. But historically, India has had very many exchanges with China, including Sanskrit was taught and learnt. Martial arts went from here. A whole lot of them were from Sanatan Parampara. Khotan was habited during Ashoka period by Indians. So a long-term perspective always matters to people like us. Short-term perspective is probably not giving the complete picture.
So a Xi or a Li will not make a big difference?
Really, it doesn't. Okay. For the simple reason that it's up to that country to decide how they want to be represented. And it is their prerogative also. I mean, there could be internal reasons, there could be health reasons, there could be several reasons. So let's not give too much meaning to that. Let's leave it to them how they wish to be represented.